Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers is an anime based on a book series. So obviously it is a very well written story. The only thing that isn't well written is the title. Roka, Braves of the Six Flowers. That's why it was not popular enough to get a second season. I'm just kidding. The title in Japanese is Roka no Yusha. Short, to the point, and easy to remember. The English version has too many S's. A lot of translations are really bad. Yusha means hero, unless the word has another meaning. So maybe the translation should have been Heroes of Roka. And you as a potential viewer, if you saw that title, the word hero will get your attention, and the word Roka would make you curious about it. Anyway, the world that the story takes place is interesting. We don't get to see much because there are only 12 episodes, but the things that we see are very good. The architecture of the country that the story starts is a mixture of different civilizations, and also original designs created by the anime staff, but the most dominant one is Aztec architecture. I think this is the first time I have seen Aztec architecture in an anime. And also some of the character designs, they look Aztec, and also the clothes and weapons, etc. Overall, it is a very well done and enjoyable story. Now, one thing that did surprise me since this anime came out in 2015 is how it is animated. This is not the first anime that I have seen animated this way, and that it came out a couple of years ago. One of the reasons why the world that the story takes place looks so good is that it is 3D animated mixture with 2D as well, and thus it is highly detailed. And there are no tricks or shortcuts being used, like a lot of close-ups or repeated scenes, blur or hide the background. There's none of that. Everything is glorious. The characters are great. I'm impressed. Their designs, their personalities, character traits, powers, weapons, fighting style, etc. No character is in someone else's shadow. They all stand on their own. They are unique. And that's one of the reasons why the character interaction and dialogue are so good. Half of the job of writing good and interesting dialogue is making unique characters. Once you have that, the other half is easy to achieve. Sometimes the dialogue will write itself. Now, one small criticism that I have before I get to the big one is that I did not expect the whole season to be about the characters just trying to get into the land of the Howling Demons, where everything prior to them being stuck in the temple was about defeating the demon god. So the writer should have put more emphasis on the dangers of the road. I don't think it would hurt the story if a character would say a line like this: "Our journey will be just as dangerous as the fight against the demon god." And also the demons should have been shown more, and their plan and efforts to protect the demon god from being defeated like he was in the past. And then we would have paid attention to the journey as well, and not just think about the clash between the heroes and the demon god. But with that being said, it did not ruin the enjoyment of the story for me, and the reason for that was the high level writing. I was impressed with what he was able to do in such a limited situation. You have 7 characters locked in one place, and there's only one topic: who is a traitor among them? And even with these limitations, he found a way to make it interesting and intriguing and engaging. I was paying attention to every word and every action and reaction of the characters. I was surprised how long he kept that up without getting boring or silly. To give an example of how good and interesting it was written, let's look at the scene between Atlet and Hans in the forest. Atlet has a chance to kill Hans, but he didn't. He missed on purpose. Now, if that was enough for Hans to believe Atlet, I would be okay with that. It would work story-wise. You cannot say that it is convenient, because of everything that the writer did. But the writer did not stop there. He went beyond that. Hans said to Atlet that he was the traitor and he went for the kill. And as soon as Atlet heard that, he did try to reach a weapon, but it was too late. But Hans did not kill him. He just said that I trust you now. If you were the traitor, then you would be surprised, since there is only one traitor, and you not believing me and trying to get a weapon shows that you are not the traitor. This scene is brilliantly written. And then things continue to develop until the last episode where we did learn who the traitor is. And the reveal was quite anticlimactic. It was not just because of who the traitor was, but also, as I said earlier, at the beginning of the story it was all about dealing with the demon god. But not just we did not see the demon god, but also did not even step foot on the land of the Howling Demons. But now let's talk about the reveal of who the traitor is, and why it was so anticlimactic to me. When we got to the last few episodes, I started to think that maybe none of them is a traitor because of what I saw of them. And maybe there is some mastermind behind this and he wanted them to fight each other and not the demon god. When Nashitania said that I am the traitor, my reaction was, meh. I did not hate it nor love it. I just did not care. Because nothing that happened before did set that up. And that's why I had no reaction whatsoever. At that moment, the story went from a proper story to a cartoon. And also what she said after the reveal was quite weak. Not on the same standard the writer has set for the story. And it could have been better with just a few small changes. If the writer wanted to have a traitor among them no matter what, then he should have chosen a character that is more suited for the job, that is more capable. I think Hans or Mora would make a better choice. Hans, besides being very capable, he doesn't seem to have a moral compass, so I don't think he would stop at anything. He's an assassin, and based on what he said, he doesn't care who he kills as long as he gets paid. When he did realize that he got chosen as one of the 6 heroes, he did ask the king for money for defeating the demon god. Besides having all the attributes to play that role, he is also a force to be reckoned with, so it would have worked a lot better. Mora is the same. Amongst many things, she seems to be very knowledgeable, so it would be more normal if she did decide to take things into her own hands and do something different. And also she seems to be very powerful and capable of. But I think any character is better suited for that role than Nashitania. That's why my reaction was just meh, because what can this character do? And the other thing is that story-wise it doesn't make that much sense. Why she did free Atlat from prison? If she would have left him there, she would have to deal with one person less. And things would have been easier for her since no one would suspect a thing if there are only 6 of them instead of 7. No one would think that there is a traitor among them. And also, even after getting Atlat out of prison, there were so many chances where she could have killed him. And also she could have killed Gondolov at any time she liked. The guy is always kneeling in front of her. What is funny is that she said I would prefer to eliminate at least 2 of you. Well, she had the chance to do just that all along. And also, how did the demons do all those things? It was never explained. The other problem is her motivation. It is not even basic. Maybe it will be explained later on, but as of right now, it seems cartoonish. And that's the problem that I have with the story, that up until that point things were great, and then the story takes a huge plunge. When she said that in that process 500,000 people will die and everyone got angry at her, and rightly so, and her response was nothing, which was so disappointing. She could have said many things, and one of those is, and how many people have died so far from demons? How many people have died from the demon god? And many more people will die in the future if you don't do something different. Even if you don't agree with her point of view, you cannot argue against it. This technique is used a lot in mangas, and that's why the stories are so interesting, because things are never black and white. They aren't just good guys and the bad guys. Things are always more complex. But unfortunately, the writer did not do that. She was like, okay, from here on out, I am the bad guy. Don't ask why, because I don't know myself. And then, the last scene of the season is another character arriving and saying that they have been chosen as well. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a joke or not. So the writer wants to repeat the same thing again? Yeah, because repeating is the best form of storytelling. Hey, maybe he did realize the problems with the previous traitor and now he wants another crack at it to get it right. Anyway, besides these 2 things, the whole season revolving who is a traitor when the story was set up for a war against the demon god, and Nashitania being the traitor, everything else in the story is great. I would still recommend this anime. The end was anticlimactic, but everything else was enjoyable and interesting. I was looking forward to every episode. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.